Quote, retreat by Sandor. One quote, one reflection, one thought that could bring a moment of light and energy to your day. Join me as we take a look at today's quote. The quote is by Abhijit Naskar, born 1991. It reads, "Feminism means standing up for women's rights, not reinforcing the society's perception of women as object for sexual gratification, by advocating for public eroticism." Let's take a moment together to explore the messages within this quote. You know what's fascinating about modern feminism? Everything we think we know about women's empowerment might be missing a crucial scientific perspective. And that's exactly what neuroscientist Abhijit Naskar challenges us to consider.
That's such an interesting angle, especially considering his background in brain science. How does he connect neuroscience to feminist theory?
Well, what makes Naskar's perspective unique is that he's analyzing social movements through the lens of human consciousness. Born in 1991, he's bringing this fresh millennial perspective combined with hard science to understand how society forms its perceptions of women.
And his quote about feminism really challenges some popular narratives, doesn't it? He's drawing this clear line between rights and what he calls public eroticism.
Exactly. And you know what's fascinating? He's not just making philosophical arguments. He's backing them up with his understanding of how the brain processes social attitudes. His research suggests that certain forms of advocacy might actually reinforce the neural pathways that lead to objectification.
That's such a powerful insight. So he's essentially saying that some well-intentioned feminist expressions might be working against their own goals?
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting. Through his work in consciousness studies, Naskar has found that lasting social change requires rewiring deep-seated mental patterns. You know, it's like trying to redirect a river that's been flowing the same way for centuries.
Well, that's quite different from the usual social media activism we see today. How does his scientific approach translate to practical solutions?
So, get this. Naskar's research shows that meaningful change happens at the intersection of education and consciousness raising. He's documented how exposure to rights-based education actually creates new neural pathways that challenge existing biases. Pretty mind-blowing, right?
The way he combines scientific rigor with social advocacy is really remarkable. His work spans across so many different cultures and contexts.
And that's what makes his insights so valuable. Like, he studied how different societies process gender roles, and his data suggests that cultural attitudes about women are literally encoded in our neural networks. But here's the key thing. These patterns can be changed through targeted intervention.
That reminds me of his emphasis on reason and empathy working together. He's not just theorizing, he's mapping out how minds actually transform.
You know what's really wild? His research shows that when people engage with rights-based feminist concepts, their brains actually show increased activity in areas associated with empathy and rational thinking. It's like he's found the sweet spot between emotional and logical processing.
The implications for social movements are pretty significant when you think about it.
Absolutely fascinating. And here's where his millennial perspective comes in handy. He understands how social media can either reinforce or challenge these neural patterns. His studies suggest that viral feminist content often triggers emotional responses without creating lasting cognitive change.
So it's about creating deeper, more sustainable transformations in how people think?
Exactly that. And what's really cool is how he's documented the way successful social movements actually create new neural pathways in society. Like when women's rights campaigns focus on concrete issues rather than symbolic gestures, they literally help rewire collective thinking patterns.
The way he brings scientific methodology to social justice is truly groundbreaking.
And you know what's particularly relevant about his timing? He's conducting this research during massive social upheaval. His data shows how digital activism can sometimes actually reinforce the very biases he's trying to fight against.
That's such a crucial insight for modern movements to consider.
Well, here's the thing that really blows my mind. His research indicates that lasting social change requires about 18 months of consistent exposure to new ideas before neural pathways begin to permanently shift. It's not just about viral moments, it's about sustained engagement.
The implications for how we approach advocacy are pretty profound when you look at it that way.
And as we wrap this up, I think his most valuable contribution is showing us that social change isn't just about changing minds, it's about literally rewiring brains. His work suggests that effective feminism needs to work with our neural architecture, not against it.
That really transforms how we might think about approaching these important social issues going forward.
You know what's really exciting? This is just the beginning. Naskar's research opens up whole new possibilities for evidence-based social change. It's like we're finally getting the owner's manual for how society's consciousness actually evolves. With that, we conclude this exciting episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Your support truly helps this channel grow. See you again tomorrow. Yours, Sandor.